Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new episode of the AVS show coming straight to you from New York City. We love you for tuning in one more time. Listen, go ahead and subscribe to our channel, right?
Please subscribe.
Share the video, like the video, and
Tell
after
a
the
friend.
show, where can they go, Glitz?
They can go on the ABS show on Instagram and follow us and share and like.
Yes, good job. All right, so let's dig right into today's topic. Miss Glitterati, let's get into today's topic. What are we talking about?
So the barbaric tradition of breast ironing is back. I didn't know that that was continuing because when I was growing up, I've heard of it where they are ironing young women's breasts to make them not so sexually attractive to men and to suitors and things like that. So UK has found out about 1,000 people, young girls in UK are going through breast ironing.
In UK?
In London. And these are West African children. So the thing that's going on there, they're trying to bring awareness to it and talk about what's wrong with breast ironing, what some of the ramifications are.
So before we even get into it, what is breast ironing?
Breast ironing is the act of minimizing the look of a young girl's breast as it's growing. So as I think of 8 or 10 years old, they start using like a warm, either stone to kind of press down the breast so that it lays down flat, and then they use taping, which is something that butchers use to make sure their breasts are not showing, right? So they tape their breasts, and then when you look at it, the breast never really grows out the way it's supposed to. It always, kind of like droops down and loops down.
It faces down.
Yes. So a lot of the girls are stigmatized when, like, for PE class or different things, when they don't want to take off their shirts, they don't want to, participate in stuff like that, and there's no awareness by the teachers. So the government in London wants to make sure that they're letting, like, PE teachers, counselors know more about the breast ironing trend. I didn't know this was still going on. It's happening in the West. So it just, has come to light, and they're talking about it again. So I wanted to bring it to you guys to talk about, can you believe, first is genital mutilation, now it's breast ironing. Why can't they leave us women alone? But please, speak on it.
Well, this has always been there. So because you did mention that it's back, it has always been there, and it's most common in Cameroon. A lot of African countries do it. And it's also like a borrowed culture as well. Because my neighbor, when I was in Ghana, used to do it, my neighbor in Ghana, because we lived in a compound house, and my neighbor did it to her daughter. And the story is told to these little girls that it's done to protect them. It's done to protect them against, pedophiles, to these men, to these guys that look at these women, little girls as sexual beings. So it's done to suppress the breast from growing or delay it from growing. So I've seen it. I've seen them doing it. They use bandages, they use heart stones, they use tapoli, they use anything at all they can do to hit it, for it to go down.
Hit it.
To hit it.
How do you feel about it?
It's horrible. It's disgusting. It needs to stop right away because it will traumatize them for the rest of us.
To think that in a world like this in the 21st century that the ignorance is still very high. Okay, fine, let's sound stupid. If you're trying to make the girl less attractive by covering her breasts and making it flat, what about the ones that have big behind? What are you going to do to it? So it doesn't even make sense. So to think of the, let's even focus on the negative impacts on the girls. Because what you're trying to protect is not being protected. That same Cameroon that they say they're trying to reduce their promiscuity and whatever, we still have a high percentage, about 38% of Cameroon girls get married, get pregnant before the age of 18. Breast ironing or not. So what they are trying to protect, they're not still getting it right.
Yes.
So the tradition should be abolished.
Absolutely.
How many girls would you want to iron the breasts?
Until it's
No, it's a family thing. It's just like circumcision.
Yeah,
So it's not done by the government.
Yeah.
But it's a culture where people are doing it.
Yeah.
For me, yes, it's ignorance, but then it goes back to education. You have a mother that actually went through sexual abuse, that went through people, having sex with them unwantedly. So now they grow up, they have daughters, and they don't want the same thing to happen to their daughter. So it's a prevention method, but it's the wrong one.
Yeah,
there should be other ways to prevent that from happening.
And irregardless of if you're ironing the breast or not, people that are pedophiles like kids that just look like kids. So they're going to prey on those kids anyway. Irregardless of how much you iron, how much you circumcise, people that are pedophiles are attracted to anything that looks young, youthful, and in those senses. So you're not doing anything to helping the child.
Not to mention the health hazard of pressing down one's breast. You have cancer, you have chances of getting cancer, you have the deformity, you have the inability to breastfeed properly. It's all these things that are you're prone to getting. Now, a lot of times when you see or hear of things like this, you wonder, well, how can the parents really, in this present time, like you've asked, subject the child to this? Think of it like this. If a woman who is 28 or 30 years old, who is a grandmother already because she has a kid, who already has a kid, had to go through this and figured, you know what, because I went through this pain, I don't want to do the same for my child. But then she doesn't do it for her child ends up having a baby, which now makes her a grandparent. Do you not know, do you not think that if that her grandchild grows up, she would be forced to press that baby's breast because she feels she had wronged her child by not doing the same thing that was done to her? Do you understand what I'm saying? So a lot of times it's because of what they have seen in the past, because of their past experiences that kind of forms their mind and shapes their thoughts to think it's okay to do things like this.
And some people are so stuck in their ways. So because this happened in UK, so you would think, okay, we travel outside, we travel outside the country, and we're not going to do this anymore. It's so stuck in their, their ways that they don't want to change. They actually interviewed a 14-year-old girl, and this is what she said: every morning before I go to school, my mom makes me lift up my shirt. So she makes sure I haven't taken my bandage off.
Yes.
Wow.
It has been 2 years now, and she still checks it. Can you imagine how humiliating that is? That every morning for checkup, your mom actually makes sure that you haven't taken your bandage off, your boobs are still flat. Like, it will leave a scar. And I'm not talking about just physical one, emotional scar. Psychological scar. So this is ridiculous.
And at that age, your blood vessels are still running.
Like,
they're growing.
goodness.
They're growing. Like, and your blood vessels run through everything in your breast area. Breast area is very hypersensitive because of all of the nerve endings in it. So you literally are killing those nerves to make sure that your children don't get touched. And in talking about those psychological scars, when you're talking about that, think about that traumatizing way. Like, when you get older, are you going to want to take your clothes off in front of somebody? Because time and time again, you're being told that you cannot remove this bandage that you have around you. And also, that's psychologically because your breasts are deformed too, right? So how is that mentally when women are now, it's all about breast surgeries, about having those bosom boobs. How does that, what is the ramification down the line for the young woman that goes through that?
Yeah, and the worst part about it is that it makes the woman see herself as a tool while she's growing up, because they're putting a blame on her.
Yes.
They're trying to say, if you don't do this, you will get raped. If you don't do this, you will get pregnant. If you don't do this, you will lose your youthful age and you become promiscuous. So the woman will have a psychological acceptance that she is to blame for her problems.
Yes.
And that is totally wrong. That's why this practice has to be abolished. Because at a certain age, like you said, she will not be comfortable to put herself out there. And that's totally wrong.
Even with the whole, practice, pedophilia is still not contained. Rape is still not contained. Where is the headway? So the thing is, they should start, talking to these girls. The parents have a lot of work to do to start talking to these girls.
The parents are the ones doing it.
Oh, okay. Then, oh my God, it's a whole lot. It's just complicated.
So everybody has to be educated.
Everybody has to be educated.
On the rights
on the rights and the wrong, and that's the reason why when a child is growing up, you let them know, about their private parts and all that, so that when they have these funny activities, they can be able to talk, make them friendly, just let them know that it's okay to say anything if you notice something that's abnormal, that it's not okay.
But it's not the girl's fault.
It's not your fault as well. It's not a fault. And also, these girls, as they're growing up, they might be going to school and be noticing some funny activities from the opposite sex, and they are quiet, simply because of the home that they came from. They cannot talk. So they should train them on how to be open about these things.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the message here, and the message to me is that we are teaching these little girls, that you have to do what you can as much as possible to make the men comfortable.
Exactly.
So that's how I'm looking at it. So you have to dress appropriately. You have to cover up. You have to close your button because the men have to be comfortable. We have to start looking at it that way.
Isn't that the general message in Africa?
But when is it going to start?
But that's the general message in Africa. Every time you put a male child and a female child, they always shelter the male child, but then they go strict on the female child.
Blame the female child.
Exactly. So now, in this case where you bandage a child, you iron the child's breast down, you bandage the child's breast up. How about, why didn't they ever find something to do to the guys?
Yes.
Like maybe tie a guy's penis backwards and then tuck it into their a-hole.
Wait, hold on.
You're making them.
Hold on, I'm trying to envision this thing right now.
It's not visible now.
No, say what you said.
It's true.
Tie what to tie what?
Yes, no.
Hold on.
Okay, so okay.
You're entertaining this?
No. I want to know if it's possible.
I sat down here and I'm thinking about a child in the morning being pressed down with an iron. Mind you, at that age, their breast is tender and sore because they are growing.
So
now you carry a hot stone and massage the girl's breast and you're pressing it down. So now, if it's okay for a woman or a girl to go through that, then you as a guy, you should maybe give you like
hold on, I want to hear.
Maybe like we circumcise you every morning.
What?
Yes. So that it's
Do you know
fresh.
the meaning of circumcision?
Then we now tie it with a string and pull it backwards.
Hey, to your anus?
Yeah, so that way, whenever you're trying to get erect, it will be erected in your own anus. Like, no, these don't feel right. So you don't do stuff like that. You don't think
Which
it's
school
okay.
did this get finished from?
So you don't think it's okay to want to run around and try to rape somebody's child. When that urge comes, it's poking you. You're the one feeling the poke. So you're like, no, guy, simmer down, because you're in my own a-hole. You can't be subjecting children.
I feel.
That's exactly how I'm feeling.
you
Sitting
feeling
down here
it?
thinking about a child.
So it's back.
A child's breast being. I don't even. When I was 10, I was sore.
Yeah.
When I was, and I grew titties quite fast. So when I was 10, I was sore. If you touch me the wrong way, I will beat you because I'm in pain. Now you have a child who is 10, having hot stone, pressing her breast down. The small cocoa, the small cocoa that's inside the breast. They'll be massaging it and be turning into a flower.
Speaking of touch, I think what the parents and the elders are teaching the female child, they should teach something serious to the male child. Because my friend in school, when I was in college, I remember she used to tell me that when she was 12, her mom used to tell her, don't let a boy touch you. If a boy touch you, you just get pregnant. So she didn't even understand it. She just felt like if a boy touch her, she'll get pregnant. So if she's playing and the guy wants to touch her, she will start running away. But why can't they tell the male child, don't touch a girl.
Yes.
If you touch any girl, you are in trouble because it's wrong.
Yes.
Why do they always tell only the female child, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that? Tell the male child what he's not supposed to do.
Respect the
women
girl.
are second-class citizens.
Yes, second class.
And that's wrong.
Citizens,
There has to be gender equality. At this level that we are right now, we have to promote gender
still a long
equality.
way to go.
The sad part is that a lot of them, they do all these things to these girls, and there's still girls that have bandaged breasts that are still pregnant, that still get raped.
That's what we're saying. In Cameroon, 30% of the Cameroon girls still get pregnant before 18, despite the whole
You can't control these things. It's just funny. You can't control what guys, what boys do. You can't control what girls do.
You can start to control it by changing their mindset, their mentality. Start taking charge of
laws
things
are
that
not
have
for the
been done.
women.
No, I'm not even talking about. I'm talking about the natural cause with everything you're saying. Oh, being horny and poking yourself. All the graphic things you talked about. So the thing is that education is very, very, very important.
Since they tell the girls that if a man touch you, this and that and that, they have to tell you. Why can't they tell the son, the male child, that if you touch a woman, I will cut off your penis?
No, that's cut off your penis. You know how they scare you mental? They actually mess with your mental, telling you that if a boy touch you, you get pregnant. Same way, at that time, that young age, start telling the boys that if you touch a girl, you will die. Once you touch a girl, you sleep, you wake up. That will put the fear of God in them because they don't want to die. Nobody wants to wake up dead. So
when you start to look at the reason why they do this breast ironing, for me, it does sound good. It's a good idea. The reason why you're doing it is to decrease early marriages. Because when these girls, start growing breasts, then one allergy wants to marry them.
If it sounds good, then the reason why they're doing circumcision also sounds good.
But the
that's
reason
why they do circumcision.
Yeah. They do
because they want to reduce the vagina so that they can't get pregnant.
That's what you're saying. No, we're not talking about that. I'm talking about the reason why people do certain things might sound good, but it doesn't mean it's a good idea. So they do it to decrease early marriages because we know these little kids are being swept up by allergies every day at a very young age. So yes, let's do something.
Chiefs,
everybody. They do this to stop.
They
stop pregnancy because they want to actually keep their young girls in school. So for me, okay, good. This sounds good. But the ways that you are moving or you are doing it, horrible. There are other ways. So now let's dig into the ways. Let's educate ourselves as to how we do. Because you are doing all of these things and your percentages are not matching. So something is wrong somewhere. Like you said, over 30% of children in Cameroon
are still getting pregnant.
They are still getting married at a young age. 20% of them are dropped out of school. So my people in Cameroon, your ways are now, it's not working.
It's not.
And if something is not working, what you do, you reevaluate it and you change it.
Right.
It's been years and decades and it's still the same.
And also education of the parents on what happens to young girls' bodies, meaning that you're causing cancer. Cancer, which is a huge, huge detrimental, like, you know, like you can't, there's no cure for cancer, right? In a sense, you can get into remission. Cancer, vein damages, they can't feed their babies milk.
Yeah, no
like
lymph nodes.
the milk, you know, so think about those ramifications. So if you ever want your child to ever get married and be able to be a fostered woman, think about that. Even one young girl that her example was, her mother said that she was gay and she did the breast iron and she still got her child married at a young age and she couldn't even feed her baby because her breasts were in so much pain. So imagine you doing that, trying to make her not gay or whatever, but you still marry her off early. So what's the point of ironing her breasts in the first place? Makes no sense. They're being like hypocrites. It's hypocritical what they're doing.
A lot of times they will say, if I survived it, you can too. Because they went through it and they made it all the way to their marriage and they had their own children. They feel like if they went through it, you can as well. Now, after all is said and done, we've gone through all these phases. We know that it's not working. What would be our go-to solution for them?
Education.
How do we resolve this problem of you ironing your children's breast and they still getting raped? How do we educate the community? How do we educate ourselves on? Well, now we know the dangers of it, but how do we educate ourselves on going forward? Not getting raped by these boys, not getting the kids bandaged up. How we can prevent them from getting, dropping out of school, getting married early, getting pregnant early. How do we do this?
Do we have organizations that are, looking into that already?
Of course, we do have organizations, but the laws are not strict enough.
Okay.
They're still, like you always say, somebody's paying somebody off, getting away with things. So there should be laws. Where are the laws to protect our girls? Like, I don't understand how there's so many things happening to young girls
and boys.
And boys, but especially girls, and nobody is saying anything. Some of the positions in the parliament or the head offices has to be women.
They are.
Put some women out there because history has shown that when women are in charge, change happens.
Yes, it does. It does.
That's true.
And also, it's sad that the time you spend in jail for rape is less than the time you spend in jail for other crimes.
Stealing diary.
So think about that. Like they'll burn you for stealing that, but your rape is okay. Slap on the wrist and you're off. So you don't think raping a young child is a huge, you should be in jail for life. And literally you could know that it's a man's world because when you are doing crimes against little children or with women, the crimes against women you get less time. Like I can always say that women are second-class citizens. We are growing and building, but women's right movement is...
What is the society telling us? What is the message there?
That we are not important. That women are not important. Women are not worth anything. That's what society is saying.
It's quite sad. For a continent that is called Mother Africa, the laws sure favor the men a lot. It's quite unfortunate.
But if the men are the head, we also have to understand that the women are the neck. And without the neck moving, guess what? You will not be moving. So women are actually really, really powerful. If we take our time and take care of them like we should, things like this will not happen.
So we bring it down to law and constitution reforms in this favor.
Yes.
So action needs to be taken immediately from the top and start reforming these laws and these constitutions to make sure that the girl child and women are protected as well.
And just like Charlie said before, which I will emphasize, education is important, but women should be in positions of power. Because the powers that be do not do anything because they are also doing the same crime. You understand? So it is the people on the grassroots that feel the pain, that know how to fix the pain. So the women feel the pain. The women should be in power and they only can fix this pain.
I hope that more African countries can emulate Ethiopia where they have 50-50 in the parliament.
Yes.
I hope it starts to go around because like you said, we don't know, you as a man can't really tell my pain unless I explain it to you. And because the women know exactly what their struggles are, they would push for reform if they get in there.
And we have to stop being followers. We have to stop being leaders because some of these things are borrowed culture. Like I said earlier in the show, my neighbor actually did it. We don't do that in Ghana, but guess what? Somebody probably told her that, that's what we did in our country and it's good for the child. You know what I mean? So stop following people.
Yeah.
Start thinking for yourself.
And so women are to blame too, so for a lot of the way that we are treated too, because women also impose some of those negative stereotypes and negative cultures and continue it. So we're just like, say like the guys are to blame, women are to blame too, because sometimes you continue with what you think is status quo.
But also
and that's not right.
But Glitz, also think about it in your community. When a lot of people, when everybody's doing one particular thing and you say no, they look at you and the next thing you know, they stigmatize you like, So you think about that. So it's a lot of times they go with the flow. It's what's the word? They want to do what other people are doing.
Yeah, never be scared to be different. Never be scared to be different. The greatest people in the world are not followers.
The leaders,
they are leaders because they made a change. They were different from every other person.
Yes.
And they were persecuted.
Absolutely.
So what is the message now for the girls that have been through this and they are watching us right now?
Tell your story.
Tell your story, and also
Make a change.
I know that it's also I'm glad the BBC picked it up,
Right.
Because the BBC is bringing shining a light to it. So it's good. I think that other news outlets like we have need to pick it up and talk more about it and talk about safety, and also start thinking about how we're going to educate and create, even like in the little NGOs or whatever, have signs like even like posters
centers for these girls to go and talk. And I'm
but you know, think about when you go back home. When you go back home, but have the posters to educate the mothers. Even as the mothers are getting pregnant and are getting ready to have girl childs, there should be certain things that they should be taught and they should be learned. Like you have to give your child Pedialyte. You have to make sure your child does this. They have colic. All of that. This should be part of what they're teaching them.
And also talk to the boys as well. You also have to talk to the boy child too. Make them understand the dangers of you raping somebody, the dangers you stand to experience, like HIV/AIDS, and it's not even yours to take in the first place. No. So you also have to educate the children, just as you're educating the female child, you're educating the mothers, you're educating the fathers, and also the boys as well. Yeah. You're not entitled.
This is one of the reasons why a lot of people out there don't want even girl children. They don't. Yeah. They find out they're about to give it to a girl because it's starting to sound like it's a burden. I have to do all these things to protect them. I have to do this, circumcise them, do this. It's like, it's a lot.
Charlie, it's so funny you say that because I don't know if I want to have children because of all of the things that happen to children now. That's one of my reasons for not wanting. I was like, I don't want my child to be raped. I don't want anything to happen because there's not a time when you could have 100% unless you are just there with them, you're teaching them, because they're going to go away, things are going to happen because this world sometimes is so cruel.
And also, as we know, we don't have enough media coverage on this. I can't even believe that this is my first time hearing something. I've never heard about it before. Wow. So I want to encourage filmmakers. This is a story to dig deep into and produce more documentaries so we can create more awareness about
would you watch? It's also good that you tell the filmmakers to make it, but we also have to go in and support and share and like and again, spread the word out there.
Our government back home reform the laws and constitution. The girl, child, and women needs to be protected. We need more women in power, like you guys have
been saying. And also some of the celebrities that come out, the Cameroonian celebrities, some of the celebrities in West Africa, it's not even just like different West African countries, could come out and talk against it. Because, people do follow celebrity. Let's just be real about that. If they can come and be like, the way they talk about, child abuse, things like that, also talk about some of these things that are still happening and continuing today.
Men, behave yourselves. So they are doing this thing because of you guys. Behave. Okay? Otherwise, we will use that method.
Yeah.
So what is the method again? Say it so we can go.
Tie and talk.
Tie and talk.
Yeah. They need to behave themselves. Protect these girls. Yes. Come on. We have to go. We love you for watching. Let us know in the comments your thought on this topic. Until next time, you are watching MinaTV, and this is the ABS show. Bye.
Thanks for watching. And if you liked this episode, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you next time.